What's going on, everyone? This is Dom, and today we are talking about mid-cycle refreshes, and that's what I'm going to consider this as, even though it's not technically a flagship phone. I'll get into all of that in a little bit though, but it's kind of weird to me, and a lot of these mid-cycle refreshes that are done by OnePlus or like Google right here, they just rub me the wrong way sometimes. So the Pixel 6a here, it's kind of a flagship, but not really. But it's also kind of a budget phone, but not really, and I'll explain all of that here in a little bit. I know that's confusing. Now, the Pixel 6a kind of gives you the necessities of having a Google branded Pixel phone without giving you all of the premium features that we've come to know from Pixel phones. Now, granted, you do have the bare bones here, and a lot of things a lot of people will be okay with, but let's talk about what the Pixel 6a has that's different from the Pixel 6. So as far as the display goes around the front side, we have a 6.1 inch display here on the Pixel 6a versus 6.4 inches on the Pixel 6. We also have only a 60 hertz refresh rate here on the 6a versus 90 hertz on the Pixel 6. This has 6 gigabytes of RAM versus 8 gigabytes of RAM, and we have a 12 megapixel camera versus a 50 megapixel camera. Now, some may argue that's a pretty big jump in numbers, but to be honest, a lot of the camera technology that Google has going on, it's good enough. Like, come on. Like, the 12 megapixel camera on the 6a is absolutely phenomenal, and the photos will speak for themselves. If you've seen any photos taken on the Pixel 6 versus 6a, I guarantee you wouldn't be able to tell the difference just looking at them side by side. It's a good enough phone, but that also brings it to a very awkward spot in terms of price point. So the Pixel 6a is only $150 cheaper than the Pixel 6. And that puts it in a weird spot. I mean, are you really willing to save $150 to omit some of those features? That's going to be a personal preference, obviously. As far as the internals go though, it's got the same processor, it's got the same this and that. Like, I mean, even the design looks very, very familiar and exactly the same when you compare it to the Pixel 6. So what does really the 6a bring to the table that the Pixel 6 didn't, or what are the benefits to getting the 6a over the Pixel 6? Well, like I said, you save $150, so that's a thing to consider for sure. But I mean, really, if you're looking at $150 difference, are you really gonna go with something that's slightly less better? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Or are you going to wait until the Pixel 7 comes out, the next iteration of the Pixel, to pick one of those up, which will probably be roughly close to the same price as the Pixel 6 is currently. We're in this weird spot right now, right? It is July or August as we speak, and I would say that another Pixel phone is going to come out closer to the fall, maybe October, November, somewhere around there. And this guy is just sitting here, $150 less, just begging you to buy it. But I just see it as a very weird purchase right at this point in time. Now, that's not to say that this is a bad phone, because honestly, any Pixel phone, at least in recent years, is going to be amazing. And the same can be said about the Pixel 6a. This is a good phone. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with it. And it's cheaper than a lot of other smartphones out there in its class. And that's probably what we need to be looking at here. Not necessarily how it compares to other Pixels, but how it compares to other smartphones. And I'll tell you that I would choose this over any of the current flagships any day of the week, because the price point, I mean, it gives us what we need. It's got a good camera, it's got good battery life, I should add that. It's got pretty clean software, it's got a cool design, though it's all glass, and I mean, what else do we expect nowadays anyway? It's got Google's Tensor processor inside of it. There's really nothing wrong with this smartphone, but it's a weird time to put this out, because again, we're only months away from a new Pixel. And is this really something that you personally would pick up versus just waiting for the new one, or even grabbing a Pixel 6 used, which you can probably get for about the same price as the 6a. Now, one way I could definitely say to justify the purchase of a Pixel 6a is if you buy this at $449, then you get a $50 Google Store credit, and then you pick up the Pixel Buds Pro, which are actually pretty phenomenal. I've actually been using them for a couple of weeks now. These things are amazing, and you can get them for $150 essentially, which is the difference between the Pixel 6a and the Pixel 6. Because like I said, you'll get that $50 Google Store credit when you buy this for $449, and then you can basically get these for $150, which this combination right here is absolutely phenomenal. But if you already have a Pixel 6, there's no reason to get the Pixel 6a, and you might as well wait for the Pixel 7, obviously. And if you have any other flagship smartphone, the purchase is questionable because, I mean, if I was coming to upgrade to a new smartphone in 2022, this is definitely a contender. But, I mean, if I have anything from the last couple of years, this isn't really worth picking up. And that's why I said it kind of sits in a weird spot. And a lot of these mid-cycle refreshes that try to be budget phones but also try to be premium phones, they don't offer enough of a discount to warrant picking up, at least if you're coming from anything recent. Like I said, there are the outliers. There are a lot of the people out there that have a phone from 4 years ago. Yes, something like this makes sense. Yes, a mid-cycle refresh makes sense because you're getting basically a Pixel 6 for $150 less than a Pixel 6 actually costs. And for those people, a phone like this makes sense. But for everybody else, it's just kind of a weird upgrade. I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts though down in the comment section below. Please feel free to drop those down there. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos like this drop in the near future. I think this is a great phone, but it's definitely not a great phone for everyone, and it really is situation dependent. So let me know your thoughts and all that down in the comment section. Again, thank you so much for watching. Once again, this is Dom, and I will catch you in the next video.